Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ship Views with me, Carburetor. Today we are taking a look at the brand new steel ship, the Z42. I got it even though there isn't a coupon out because I'm a total champ. I'm just going to leave it at that. But anyway, first impressions on this ship are, holy crap, this thing is huge. So just in comparison, I wish I had the Harugumo, but this ship feels a lot more clunky than even the Harugumo. And the Harugumo is not exactly a speedboat. It's not exactly a sports car. It is a there's a reason we call it a light cruiser without a citadel. That's basically what it is. You have a few ships like this in games such as the Elbing, the Harugumo, and this is too. Now, a few things about this is kind of a conglomeration of the Harugumo, the German DDs, and British DDs. So you have the Harugumo's layout of 2x5 turrets, giving you 10 guns per broadside of 105 millimeter shells. Now the 105 millimeter shells, even though they're larger, do not get the penetration of the 100 millimeter shells on the Japanese. I believe that they are only... So I need to check on my Kitakaze just to make sure I don't have IFHE spec. I don't think I do. I do not. So I just wanted to double check that. So the 100 millimeter shells have 30 millimeters of pen on this. They only have 26 millimeters of pen. So much for the German HE buffed pen. It's still better than it should be, but it's not great. That's nothing to really write home about. Massive detect also, 6.2 kilometer detection range. Holy crap. I believe the Harugumo is 6.1. Yeah, so 6.2, it doesn't sound like much, but on a DD, that is a big deal. On top of that, it is very slow to start and stop, I've noticed, and this is with the prop mod. So I was debating between the prop mod and the steering mod, or the rudder mod. I decided to end up going for the prop mod, and as you can see, the prop mod just saved me here from the small end. One thing I learned very quickly, and this is actually my first battle in this ship, one thing I learned very quickly is this ship does not like close engagements with other DDs. It very much favors unfair engagements with other DDs, where you can sit in your smoke, you can pop your hydro, you can see them, they can't see you. So going off of it a little bit more, let's head back to the Z42. I'm in port on my other screen while I'm recording this. So 105 millimeter guns, you get a 5% base fire chance start. I do have high explosion on this one that gives you the demolitions expert that gives you the 1% extra. So I kind of haphazardly pulled out here, kind of hoping that the Curfers would forget that he had a hydro. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should play ranked. There are some people that it's like, how in the hell did you get into ranked? You should still be in co-op. You play so bad. But anyway, so I pull forward here, and another haphazard mistake. I thought the Smallland had gone behind that island. You can see those torps were kind of launched at the Curfers. That kind of failed. I was hoping that he would kind of turn out there. Evidently, he didn't go that way. So I'm going to try and back out. And as you can see, these guns have a horrible shell arc for going over islands, that is. So it's for DDs, I typically prefer floaty shell arcs because you can get them over islands, and any island that you can get them over that's automatically like a free smoke screen, that's automatically like a free magnet. These have decent shell arcs in comparison to something like the Russians. It's a little bit more arcy, but compared to like the Americans, yeah, you're not going to be launching over too many islands with these. As you can see, I pull out there. The hydro from the German is still keeping me spotted. And as you can see, we have our Curfers running up the channel there, and I want you to pay attention to him because he's kind of funny. Going back to torps, as I'm launching torps, you get 2x4 of the 533 millimeter torp tubes. They have a 10 kilometer range with a 62 knot top speed. Now, that's pretty decent. It's not great, but it's pretty decent. They also have a decent reload time. I don't think I have it spec'd right now. I do not, with 100-second reload. When you have some ships like the Shimakaze that reloads in like 2.5 minutes, 100 seconds, which is a minute and a half, is really not that bad. Especially since I have Adrenaline Rush, so after I take a little bit of damage, they tend to come down. You can see I widespread those torps because I didn't know where the Puerto Rico was going to go. And of course, I'm radared, so I have to book it, get behind this island, use it as a shield. You do have depth charges. I believe you have ship-mounted depth charges. 2 charges, 8 bombs in a charge, 40-second reload time. So that's pretty decent. As you can see, we got the Puerto Rico there. AA defense, nothing to write home about. You have a 63 rating, which means nothing in this game. AA is so broken. I can't wait for them to add in where if you're shooting down planes in a squadron, you're actually taking away from the attack flight. I think that'll be a great improvement. But you do have a continuous damage of 218, damage by shell explosions of 1540. Now these are with my commander and with my equipment added, so it might be a little bit different from base, but that's going to be basically what I'm going to talk about. Maneuverability, you have a 36.5 knot top speed, and I think that is without the speed flag. With the speed flag, let's put it on. You get a 38.3 knot top speed. After you hit the engine boost, that's a 8% boost to the engine boost. So I don't know exactly how it works with that, but let's just do 38.3 times 1.08. So you can get a 41 knot top speed. That's pretty decent. I'm not running that in this game. I'm not running the speed flag, which is kind of like a duh, why wasn't I? But, you know, you live and you learn. You do have a 4-second rudder shift time with a 670-meter turning circle. That's actually pretty decent. That's a pretty decent turning circle. I don't know what the Harugumo's is. The Kitakaze's, though, is 730, and I know the Harugumo's is worse. So you do actually have pretty decent maneuverability there. It is still not anything to write home about. This is not something you're going to be juking shells on. So, like I was saying also with the concealment, you have a 6.2 kilometer concealment. Detectability range by depths, 2.8 kilometers. By air, 2.8 kilometers. Assured detectability, 2.0 kilometers. And I'm not seeing where the smoke firing range is. You can probably see it in there. It looks like it's 2.8 kilometers also. Going on from there also, so going into the consumables, you can see that I'm raining hell on this Mecklenburg, and I'm getting a lot of shatters. It might be worth speccing IFHE, but for me, I've never been an IFHE guy because to me, it's not worth the loss to the fire chance you get. Fire does so much damage that to me it's just not worth it. As you can see, we popped Gunter Luchens there, so I get a little bit better reload time. I believe I'm down to 3 seconds here with my Adrenaline Rush and my Gunter Luchens. So the short burst smoke generator, you get 6 charges stock. I'm not running Superintendent, so I'm not getting a whole lot more. I'm not getting any more than that. 10-second action time with a 40-second dispersion time and an action radius of 6 kilometers with reload time of, I believe it's 70 seconds base. Let me just take off my flag. Yep, 70 seconds base. So you have a pretty good turnaround on these, where one will be down, and then you can just go ahead and go into the next one. Engine boost, pretty bog standard. Engine boost, 8%, 120-second action time with 120-second reload time. 3 charges of those. And then a hydro. This is what makes this ship so OP, is the hydro. As you can see here, I'm using it to detect these. I thought I'd only pop this because I saw the Shima firing on the other side, so I was kind of hoping to be able to spot the Shima. You have a 6-kilometer hydro on this. That is really, really good. Now, you can't stealth hydro, obviously, because you only have a 6.2 kilometer detect range, but when you're in smoke, that is still a pretty overpowered little thing. I'd rather have a DD with hydro than a DD with radar, especially since radar typically only goes up to 7.5 kilometers, and it's only action time for a few seconds. As you can see, we spot the Shima there, unload the AP into his broadside, and this is where that small caliber AP at close angle just rips DDs apart. Anyway, let's head back into battle and take a look at this. So here we are with the final post-credit results. So as you can see, I made a pretty healthy profit there. Now I am running flags on, or the econ bonuses on this, so I did pretty good. This is not an amazing battle. This is not going to be like a, hey, this is amazing. This is literally my first battle. I'm still learning this ship, and I did pretty good in it. Now, I think I misplayed at the beginning. I don't think I should have pushed as far forward. I think if I had stayed a little bit further back, maybe been where the Salem was, I could have been launching HE shells, getting that Curverse, helping out my Curverse as he pushed in and suicided, unfortunate as it may be, and I could have been raining on the Puerto Rico while I had a little bit more distance away from Hydro and Radar on the enemy team. Moving on to the next one, as you can see, I'm middle of the team, 1,349 base XP. That's nothing to sniff a rag at. That is pretty good. Compliments to the Salem there. He did really great. Moving on, you can see nothing really spectacular. You can definitely tell that I got a torp hit on that Puerto Rico as I did 17,926 damage to him. Again, pretty decent. Not too bad for a very first game. This is nothing fantastic. This is nothing like, oh my lord, look how well I did. And this is ranked. Something like a Harugumo is never really going to do well in ranked, just because it's a farming ship. You sit in the back and you farm, or not in the back, but you sit a little bit further back than the front line. In ranked, you need to be on the front line to do anything really good. Last image, as you can see, this is why you run premium account. After that battle, I walked away with 635,000 credits, got 600,000 or 6,000 free XP, 5,700 ship XP. I was not running a ship XP modifier on this, and then really walked away with the Commander XP on that. Anyway, let's head back into port, and we can take a look at the ship in port. So here we are back in port. As you can see, very pretty ship. I did go on up and buy the Harugumo, and as you can see, I mean, they are very similar. I mean, they even have a very similar bow shape if you bounce back and forth between the two. There is an obvious difference, and I can say that this one definitely feels a lot more German. You can kind of feel where a ship comes from. Like the Velos, when I first saw the Velos, I screamed, "This is a Fletcher. It just screams Fletcher." Didn't even know the ship. I just knew it was a Fletcher. And you can definitely tell that it is a German ship, but it definitely harkens back to the Japanese a little bit. Not too bad, but a little bit. Focusing in on here now, you can see it is a little bit longer. I don't know the exact stats, but I imagine it has to be a little bit longer just because you have the two twin racks here. The Harugumo only has the single rack. So I could imagine that the Z42 is a little bit longer. I don't know. Even if it is, they're very comparable. Even if the one is a little bit longer than the other, they're very close. Moving on here, I just wanted to look at the maneuverability right quick. So yeah, 830 meter turning circle compared to 670 on the Z42, so it's a lot more maneuverable. A lot more maneuverable. I also don't have the rudder mod on here, 4.4 seconds to 5.5 seconds. So the Z42 is considerably more maneuverable. I take back what I said at the beginning of the video. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's look at my equipment build. Main armaments mod 1, you want to keep those turrets in the battle. You want to keep your torps in the battle. Engine room protection, I did not have too many problems with this. So, you know, you might want to consider swapping out for fire and flooding. I did not have too many engine decaps or rudder decaps, but I did not exactly get into a whole lot of brawls in this battle. So it's something to maybe take lightly, maybe not like super commit, but if you want to just play with it a little bit, you definitely can. Aiming systems mod 1, you definitely want to keep those shells very nice and tight. You want them to go where you want them. Prop mod, definitely recommend it, especially with the short burst smoke. You want to be able to stop in your smoke, use your smoke, and then be able to keep on going. Concealment systems mod 1, you got to do this in a DD, if nothing else, just for the concealment, but also for the dispersion of enemy shells coming at you. You don't want those shells hitting you. If you can push them off target just a little bit, that's a big deal, especially with big targets at range. And then I did get the main battery mod 3. You could get the gunfire control systems. You could definitely do that with Gunter Luchens. I was able to get down to a 3-second reload time on my guns, So, you know, that's decent, but you kind of want to keep those guns in the battle. But I would definitely recommend, let's go into the commander. I would definitely recommend considering getting Greased Gears. I did not, and I'm kind of regretting it. I might go back through and try and figure out if I can shuffle some skills around and get it, but I'm looking at this. There's really not a whole lot of skills that you can shuffle around. 21 points is not... It does not feel like the 19 points that we had before this. It feels like you could have done so much more with the 19 points than you could have with the 21 points after. But anyway, this is the build I have. I have the preventative maintenance. You could maybe swap that out with Grease the Gears, but I definitely want to keep my torps in battle. I want to keep my guns in battle, and I want to keep my engines in battle. So there is that. Last stand. You got to do this if you're going to play any DDs. I've run a few DDs without this, and it is a big mistake not to. Priority target, and then Demolitions Expert. I did it just to try and get some of the HE potential on this ship up a little bit. That gets me up to 6% fire chance, and that's without the flags. Then I ran Adrenaline Rush. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to get the main battery and AA Specialist, and I also really wanted to get the Superintendent. Unfortunately, I just chose the Adrenaline Rush because it's a little bit more powerful of a skill. Instead of the main battery only focusing on one target, you're on one thing. You're getting your main battery, you're getting Torp, you're getting Airstrike, you're getting secondary, and you're getting continuous AA damage boosts. You really just, how can you argue with that? And then you definitely want to run Survivability Expert. This ship is not as tanky as the Harugumo. Survivability, you only have, and this is with it, you have 23,000 hit points compared to the Harugumo, which without this has 25,600. So you definitely want to run Survivability Expert. And then Concealment Expert, you gotta get that concealment down. I know that it still sucks, but you gotta. And then Radio Location is such a broken skill on DDs. I wish it wasn't, really wish it wasn't 4 points, but this is basically like a, like those little, I forget what they're called, two little sticks where people found oil and water with them, except this actually works. This gives you so much information. For so many years, I didn't run this, and then I put it on one DD thinking, okay, I'm just going to try it. It gave me so much information. Run this. You need to run it. There is no if, ands, or buts. You need to run it. Anyway, would I recommend you guys get this ship? Yes, but wait for the coupon. This is not going to be the #1 ship that, oh my lord, you need to get. It doesn't scream that to me. There are so many better ships that you can get for steel. So if we head in and if we look at some of the steel ships, as you can see, you have the Shikishima. The Shikishima is really good. I haven't gotten it yet, but it's really good. The Incomparable, really good. Haven't gotten it yet. Borgion, haven't gotten it yet. But all three of these ships, honestly, I would almost take over the Z42. The Austin would maybe go below it. The Ragnar, honestly, I'd put the Ragnar above it because the Ragnar is so tanky. That's another DD that's basically a light cruiser. And I know I said that I prefer Hydro to radar, but that 7.5 kilometer radar is very handy. And I believe the Ragnar gets a heal. You don't get smoke, though, with the Ragnar, but the Ragnar is so tanky. If you know how to play, you're going to be just fine. The Mecklenburg, I'd put below it. I'd probably get the Z42 before I get the Mecklenburg. The FDR is, if you're a CV player, you're already going to have this. If you're not a CV player, you don't need to get it. Stalingrad is so great. I'd put it at the top of the pile. I'd get that one immediately. The Plymouth, I'd probably put below it. The Plymouth is a great ship, but I'd probably put it below the Z42. I'd get the Z42 before I get the Plymouth. And then the Vallejo, I don't even know what the ship is doing here. I would have put this in Research Bureau if I was wargaming, but whatever, they put it in here. Vallejo, probably the last thing you should get. I only got it because I'm a total chump. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.